I got crazy last mock draft, and I'm gonna get even crazier this mock draft. I am drinking the Bears Kool-Aid today, because Ryan Poles is about to pull off the greatest draft in NFL history. Hello everyone, and welcome back to this episode of Just Another Year Chicago. My name is Dick Brody, and as always, thank you for tuning in. I have full faith in Ryan Poles and company in pulling off the greatest draft in Chicago Bears history, and it all starts with building around Justin Fields. And it got even crazier with this draft situation now that the Bears have locked the #1 overall pick in, and more teams seem to be going in the direction of trying to get their quarterback of the future, making that #1 overall pick stock skyrocket. So the current draft order for the Chicago Bears goes as follows. #1 via Carolina, number 10, number 76, number 111, number 126 via Philadelphia, number 144. That's 6 picks at the moment. But if you read the thumbnail and the title, I'm going to have 10 picks out of this draft, along with getting a veteran that's going to help with a depth piece. This is going to get crazy. And before I begin, if Marvin Harrison Jr. is a must for you in this upcoming draft, no matter what that means we do with the picks, and you want even more capital as well, make sure to smash that like button on this video, put who you want the Chicago Bears to draft in the comment section below, and as always, if you're just enjoying the content, put bear down. And thank you, Freshie Organic Tequila Seltzer, for sponsoring today's show. Make sure you scan the QR code below in order to learn about Freshie. Also, happy Bears versus Packers week. And in honor of that, I am giving away an autographed TJ Edwards autographed jersey. All you have to do to enter is hit that subscribe button on this video with notifications, like this video, and make sure you comment bear down in the comment section below. Winner will be announced in the post-game show post Bears versus Packers, so stay tuned for that. And now, let's get into my mock draft. So starting, we're going to have some trade backs. The current draft order has the Chicago Bears at #1, along with Washington at #2 and New England at #3. Both are going to want their quarterbacks of the future. But both teams also know that a ton of other teams are going to be calling. The Jets, the Raiders, the Steelers, the Broncos, the Saints are all going to be looking for their quarterback future one as well. And the farther the teams are back, the more they're going to want to send the Chicago Bears for that #1 overall. So that means that Washington and New England are still going to give up a good amount to get up in the draft, which both will move up, because I'm going to move down a few spots and still land Marvin Harrison Jr. First trade I'm doing is I'm sending the #1 overall to Washington, and I'm receiving the #2, the #36, and a 2025 first. Sam Howell didn't work out in Washington, and like I said earlier, Washington knows that other teams are going to be calling in order to move up, so why not move up a little bit more and know that you have to give a couple good picks in order to do so? Bears don't have a second, along with sending them a first next year is pretty enticing. And Washington will not be good next year. That first rounder could be a top 3 pick again. I'm going to help New England out too and trade back with them as well. I'm sending the #2 pick that I just got from Washington to New England for the #3 pick, the #34 pick, the #103 pick, and a 2025 first. Again, there are 5 other teams that are going to be calling Chicago still to get up to that second overall pick. And you know what? I know that New England and Bill Belichick are dying for a quarterback. They're going to do whatever they can, including giving up capital for next year. And I think that it's a very fair trade for Chicago. So I still have Marvin Harrison Jr. on the table, along with landing a now 2 firsts in 2025, along with getting another second this year and still being in the top 3 this year. My phone's ringing. And no, I am not trading the #3 pick. I am taking Marvin Harrison Jr. with that. But it's Denver calling me for the #10 pick. So I'm going to send them the #10 pick. And they're going to send me back the #14, the #79, and wide receiver Marvin Mims Jr. The 5'11", 182-pound wide receiver is an absolute speedster downfield. And with the Bears likely moving on from Darnell Mooney, Equanimeous St. Brown, and maybe even Velus Jones Jr., they're going to need to rebuild that room. And I think he's a great asset. Former second-round pick, why not? So after all those trades, I have 10 picks and a veteran, and the picks are #3 via New England, #14 via Denver, #34 via New England, #36 via Washington, #76, #79 via Denver, #103 via New England, #107, #126 via Philadelphia, and #144. That's 2 first rounders, 2 second rounders, 2 third rounders, 3 fourth rounders, and 1 fifth rounder. And again, I got a veteran. So now let's go through who I'd pick. At #3, I've already announced it. it, I'm taking Marvin Harrison Jr. from Ohio State. 6'3", 205, runs a 4.347 time. Great hand, side speed, and vision downfield. Generational type talent, had 14 touchdowns with an 18.1 yard per catch average last year with Ohio State. We've talked about this guy so many times, but he fills every single need, especially being a wide receiver 2 to pair with DJ Moore. At number 14 from Denver, I am taking Dallas Turner, edge from Alabama. The 6'4", 260-pound edge runs a 4.45 40 time. arguably the fastest first step in college. He's a great tackler, great at getting to the backfield, is an opposing offensive line's nightmare. Last year with Alabama, he had 53 total tackles, 14.5 tackles for loss, 10 sacks, 1 pass deflection, and 2 forced fumbles. He would be a fantastic pairing with veteran Montez Sweat, along with being a proven dual threat to be able to drop back into coverage and get to the quarterback on the outside. And overall, just another big edge that will be the future of this defense, and I would love for Chicago to snag him. With my third pick at number 34, I told you I want to build the wide receiver room, and I'm going back and dipping into this stacked wide receiver class. As of right now, before this pick, I have DJ Moore, Marvin Harrison Jr., Tyler Scott, and Mims Jr. And now I'm taking Keon Coleman, wide receiver from Florida State University. A projected second rounder standing at 6'4", 215 pounds, and runs a 4.45 40. He is a big wide receiver, so now we have 2 guys above 6'1" in the room. That is great for contested catches and blocking downfield. Crazy acceleration and agility to lose defenders, and explosive after the catch. In limited play this year, he had 50 receptions for 658 yards and 11 touchdown receptions. Another big body wide receiver for Fields to throw to, explosive for opponents to help expand the offense, and a wide receiver room starting with DJ Moore, Marvin Harrison Jr., and Coleman would be dangerous for a very long time. With my fourth pick, pounded the table with him in every single mock draft, and if you guys have been here before and you know about him, I'm going to go through it quickly, but I'm going with Sedrick Pran, center from Georgia. 6'4", 310, runs a 5.29 40, is a elite pass blocking and run blocking center in the NCAA. Fills the need at the center position that we need, is a very solid interior offensive lineman and also very reliable, and I want him to be a Chicago Bear. So far, I've addressed 2 wide receivers, an edge, and a center. And with my 5th pick, I'm taking another offensive lineman to create even more depth on this offensive line, and that's going to be Christian Haynes, offensive guard from UConn. At 6'2", 313 pounds, and runs a 5.2 40 time. Great run and pass blocking combo. Quick feet that allows him to stay with defenders. He's that extra depth at guard and center that we need, especially since we're probably going to be losing Lucas Patrick and Cody Whitehair. Great run blocker up the middle, and good for Nate Davis and Tevin Jenkins to mentor and potentially be a potential fill-in if one of them leaves in the future. With my 6th pick at 79, I'm going with the safety route because I think the Bears are going to cut Eddie Jackson, and I am taking Rod Moore, safety from Michigan. The 6', 198 pound safety runs a 4.4 40 time, allowing him to keep up with any sort of wide receiver. Fast and big hitter to stay with defenders, but also has great vision downfield and ball hawk ability. He has 34 total tackles and 2 interceptions, along with 4 pass deflections for Michigan this past season. Great replacement for Eddie Jackson, a young, fast guy with a hard hitter that knocks balls out from defenders and also is able to get after ball carriers quickly. With my 7th pick in the 4th round at 103, I'm going back to the offensive side of the ball, and I am taking McCallan Castles, tight end from Tennessee. The 6'5", 252 pound tight end runs a 4.7 40 time. Not only a big target for Justin Fields, the pair with Cole Kmet, but one of the best run blocking and overall blocking tight ends in college this year. Only about 300 yards receiving, but has 4 touchdowns for Tennessee this year. But I'm bringing him for his blocking. It is unmatched, one of the best in football, and with him projected in the 4th round, I think it's a great pick. And it helps replace Robert Tonyan and Mercedes Lewis. With my 8th pick at 107, I'm going back to the defensive side of the ball because I want to stack that defensive line, especially at the edge position of Sweat, Walker, and Turner, and I want one more big dude, and that's Darius Robinson, edge from Mizzou, who is an absolute monster. 6'5", 296 pounds, and runs a 4.78 40 time. Dude is too big and too fast for defenders. I mean, like, they have him projected in the 6th. I'm not letting him get past the 4th. This guy could be a huge asset for years to come and an absolute steal. 41 total tackles, along with 7.5 sacks, over 10 quarterback hits, and 1 forced fumble. This dude is a one-man wrecking crew. A massive edge with huge upside and a run stopper and quarterback presser. I like him a lot. With my 9th pick, we need to go out and get a big running back because Deontay Foreman likely isn't coming back, and I'm going with Rasheen Ali, running back from Marshall. The 6', 210 pound running back still runs a 4.4 40 time. A big, angry running back who can rip it upfield and has great agility. Had a little over 1,000 rushing yards this past year with a 5.1 yard per carry average and 14 rushing touchdowns for Marshall. Brings in that big-bodied running back that can bulldoze over defenders, but also has that great agility and reminds me a lot of Matt Forte, just watching the way he plays, and I like him a lot in the later rounds. And my final pick at 144. I'm going to keep the tradition of drafting a quarterback last active for the next couple of drafts, I think. And I'm taking Phil Jurkovec, quarterback from Pitt. The 6'5", 214-pound quarterback, running back. The 6'5", 214-pound quarterback runs a 4.78 40 time, and he's a pretty big dude with a decent arm. Kind of fluxed in and out as quarterback for Pitt, but with his big size, I would like the Bears to have a big body quarterback on the roster, and hey, why not? He's a pretty good pick. A lot of areas are still going to be addressed by re-signing and free agency, which I'm doing later this week for you guys, so stay tuned for that. But with that, thank you for joining Mock Draft 5.0 as always, and make sure you hit that subscribe button and comment bear down, baby. Thank you for tuning in this episode of Just Another Year Chicago. My name is Nick Rodney, and as always, bear down, baby.